Hi guys, so I'm back. I've had a couple of weeks off. Luckily, I've been on a lovely skiing holiday in Italy, which is really nice. But I'm here to give you an update on how we're getting on with the purchase of our first buy-to-let. So whilst I was away, we had the survey done. A couple of different things that have come back from the survey. There's a couple of areas of damp around the front bay windows. Obviously, there's all the general stuff which we sort of picked up anyway, the general cosmetic stuff, kitchen. Most of the rooms need plastering, maybe new carpets. It just needs modernising. The biggest cause for concern is the electrics. It 100% needs a new consumer unit before it can be rented out, but potentially needs a complete rewire. So this was actually a bit of a, not a blow, but it was certainly unexpected from us, and it's another cost. If it needs a rewire, we're going to have to incur. So we're organising an electrical survey. I'm meeting the electrician there next week after work and the agents, and he's going to go around and sort of give us the lowdown and then give us a quote of the work which would need doing. Luckily, we know the surveyor, so we paid him and he just gave us verbal feedback for the survey, so we didn't have to get the report written, so that significantly brought the cost of that down for us, which is a good win. When it comes to the mortgage, so we were thinking about which one to go for, whether we were going to go for the 5, 3 or 2. We've gone for a 2-year fixed at 2.99%. Now there is a fee up front, but you get cash back after it, so that sort of negates the fee. I think they're around about £500 each, so they sort of balance each other out. The mortgage survey's been done, they've gone out and done that, and then we got a phone call from our mortgage broker yesterday saying that the mortgage has all been approved. To be honest, we were a bit surprised about this because it's our first one through a limited company, but I think for me this certainly shows the advantage of doing this while you still have a job, because we've both got good credit reports, me and my brother, who are the directors of the business, and ultimately it's based on that. When there's nothing to base the rest of the information on for the business, it's based on your credit profile. So we've got really good credit, so that went through super quick, which was really good for us and a bit of a surprise. But yeah, it was all down to credit, so you need good credit. And I actually have a video on how to improve your credit score, which I will link on the screen now and in the description down below if you want some tips about how to get a better credit score. Whilst all this has been going on, we've been doing some business stuff behind the scenes. So we had a business bank account set up with NatWest. We've got some more with Tide, and we got a business credit card as well, which we get some reward points for. It's a free card. It's called Capital on Tap. So for every £1 we spend, we get reward points which can be redeemed as Avios points, which are air miles with BA. So this is really good because I do this personally with credit cards, and it's something I think, you know, you're leaving free money on the table because you're going to be spending a lot of money, particularly if you're doing refurbs like us. So yeah, we've sorted our Capital on Tap credit card out, and then just like a general day-to-day business account with Tide. We've also spoken to a local accountant who is a property expert and deals with other property investors, which I think is probably the best thing to do when looking for an accountant when you're investing into property. Is you want someone who's got experience with other investors and the problems they've had, because accountants can be quite niche and they're experts in certain fields like property, but they might not know so much about other things. So yeah, definitely try and find a good property accountant. I found this one through networking, people in my local area and in online communities. They recommended these guys, so they offered like a monthly service or like a year-end service. So after conversations with the accountants, I think we're going to go for the year-end service at the moment, because it doesn't make sense for us to pay, you know, the monthly fee of around about £85 a month plus VAT for accountancy services when, you know, we can just put stuff through the end of the year. So we're going to try and keep hold of all our receipts, and we can track stuff with our transactions via the bank statements and stuff like that. And we're going to start putting a lot of stuff through the business, like your mileage, obviously any fees incurred for the refurb, all that sort of stuff is going to go through the business, and we're going to get that back on the tax, obviously. So like I mentioned in earlier videos, this was a probate property, so the person who owns the property has died, so someone else is looking after their sort of estate for them, obviously because they've passed away. Probate has now been granted, so that process is finished, which is really good news for us. So I let our legal team know this week that that's finished, and then they're just waiting for some confirmation from the seller solicitors about the probate being granted, and then they can start doing the searches and stuff like that. So again, this is another good step for us. We are trying to get the electrical survey in before these searches get started, just so we've not spent any more money on anything before we're completely happy with the sort of state of the property. But yeah, it's going really well. Been a couple of weeks now. This just sort of shows for me like property is like slow. It does take a while to get things over the line, and you know, we're probably looking at maybe another 4 weeks, I'd say, before we actually get the keys and we can get in there and start doing the refurb. So, you know, it's certainly a slow process, so you've got to be patient and make sure you're chasing up with estate agents and solicitors and mortgage brokers and stuff like that. And this is where it comes back to the power team, which is really powerful. So we're lucky we've got a really good surveyor and a really good mortgage broker who'll act really quick for us. And hopefully we're sort of bridging and making some relationships with some new solicitors. Because the original solicitor we were going to use, which I've used personally for my personal house and my brother's used for his, was actually the seller solicitors, and they said it was a conflict of interest and they couldn't represent us both, which I was a little bit confused about, because I thought surely if it's all in the same place it would go quicker, but they seem to disagree. So we've gone with a different solicitor who again deals specifically in property stuff. So yeah, hopefully we can build a good relationship with him. Outside of that, we're just sort of still looking at other stuff. I'm actually going to view another property a road over from the one we're in. An agent rang me about it. That's up for 110. Similar setup, 3-bed. I don't know what the spec is inside until I go next week. But yeah, I'm still sort of definitely really targeting the area we're buying in, but still looking generally. So it'll be interesting to see how much that property actually ends up going for and the spec of it inside versus the one we've got, because we've agreed 105, 100. So yeah, it'd be good to see the difference in that. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be doing these videos weekly now, giving you guys updates about what it's like day to day investing into property and building a property portfolio. So if you like me and you want to do that, don't forget, please subscribe, please like this video and comment how you're getting on down below, because I know it can be really difficult. I know a couple of people are buying their first personal houses at the moment and they are really struggling. It's probably the hardest for them because they're competing with investors as well. So if that's you, let me know down below. And yeah, see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.